So guys, welcome to lecture number 6. Just to give a recap of the last session, we understood what is wage setting relation, right? Wage setting relation kya hai?
Yes.
We understood what is price setting relation. So we did these two things. And then we realized and we made a diagram to understand these two things. And we said, wherever both these things are in equilibrium, we get a natural rate of unemployment, right? So it is basically a rate of unemployment where in the labor market, both the labor suppliers and the labor demanders, which is the firm, both their situations are in equilibrium, right? So, and then we understood two different cases of how the natural rate of unemployment can change because of certain changes. So, we talked about loose antitrust regulation. That was one example that we did. So this was one thing that we talked about. We also said, what if there are unemployment benefits which are given? So then how does that impact the natural rate of unemployment, right? So this is what we discussed so far. Now, if I'm defining something as natural rate of unemployment, so we know that unemployment rate क्या होता है? What is unemployment rate?
The unemployed people, it is the ratio of unemployed people to the labor force.
Labor force, right? So, unemployed people divided by total labor force, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, if I am saying that there is a particular equilibrium rate of unemployment where labor supply and labor demand both are in equilibrium, or the wage setting relation or the price setting relation, they are in equilibrium. So, कुछ ना कुछ associated natural rate of employment भी होगा. So basically, my question is my statement is very simple, that I can easily move from unemployment to employment.
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? So if I'm saying, let's say there is a number UN, which is the unemployment rate. So how do I calculate the natural rate of unemployment? So basically that could just mean that the employment rate associated with unemployment being at the natural rate of unemployment, right? तो जब अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इज एट द नेचुरल रेट ऑफ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, उस अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट पे जो भी एम्प्लॉयमेंट होगा इकोनॉमी में, दैट कैन बी टर्म्ड एज नेचुरल रेट ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट, राइट?
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? So now how do I calculate what is that rate? So if I tell you that UN means natural rate of unemployment, U means unemployment rate, N means natural. So I know that unemployment rate is what? The number of people who are unemployed divided by my labor force. So U means unemployed people. L means your labor force. Then there are some people who are employed, and that is represented by N, right? You remember
Yes, ma'am.
when we said that production function is y is equals to n. So this n was the people who are employed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this n means the employed people. है ना? So how can I go from here? How can I convert it into natural rate of employment? इसको मैं कैसे convert करूँ उसमें?
Then y is equal to n, will you please repeat? Is from the production function.
Yes, you remember we made lots of assumptions that y is equals to a, and we are only assuming there is labor.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So those assumptions, it's coming from there.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So now I know that the number of unemployed people.
And
G.
ma'am, but y is having a total y is stand for total output,
Yeah.
and it is stand for number of people employment and how
Yeah.
they are equal, ma'am.
Yeah. So if one person is contributing to 1 unit of output, then what will happen?
Okay, ma'am.
We made
Okay.
this assumption, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
A is 1, meaning productivity of one worker is 1 unit.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
This is obviously under those assumptions.
Yes,
Otherwise, y will just be some function of employed people, some capital, some other things, right?
yes, ma'am.
So those things are in general. But again, here also this n will mean the people who are employed, right? Not the labor force. ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can I say this, the number of unemployed people, number of employed people, sum will be equal to the labor force? है ना?
Yes,
तो मैं
ma'am.
इसको कैसे लिख सकती हूँ? U को मैं L minus N लिख सकती हूँ ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So what is this? 1 minus N divided by L. है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I do this, N divided by L is equals to 1 minus U. I can say this. है ना? I brought this on the left side, this on the right side. We got this. So what is N? 1 minus U times L, right?
Yes.
So what will be natural level of employment? And what will be natural rate of employment? Level क्या होता है? Amount, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is NN. It is nothing but 1 minus UN
L.
L, right?
Yes,
It will
ma'am.
be natural rate of unemployment, natural rate of employment. It will be 1 minus UN, right? This is rate, this is level.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है?
Ma'am, can you explain again?
Yeah, so basically अगर जैसे मैं ये पूछती हूँ आपसे कि what is the total numbers, total marks that you have scored? Total marks is your total level of score, right? तो वो आप मुझे कितना बताते हो? जैसे 500 में से लेट्स से 480, ठीक है? फिर मैं आपको पूछती हूँ कि व्हाट इज द परसेंटेज ऑफ मार्क्स दैट यू हैव रिसीव्ड? सो आप क्या करते हो? आप इसको किससे डिवाइड करते हो? टोटल मार्क्स दैट यू हैव, राइट?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is level, this is rate, है ना?
Yes, ma'am, got it.
So natural level of employment will mean how many people are employed when unemployment it as the unemployment level, unemployment rate it as the natural rate of unemployment. तो जब unemployment natural rate of unemployment पे था, then what was the number of people who were employed? It was this. है ना? And then there is a rate. So rate is total number of people who are employed divided by your total labor force. So this will be your natural rate of employment. ठीक है? This is fine. Okay. So if somebody tells you, if somebody gives you something like this, कि labor force is 100 crores. ठीक है? Natural rate of unemployment UN is 5%. So how many? So what is the natural level of employment? How will you calculate that?
Ma'am, first we'll find the percent, that will convert the percentage into number. That is, if unemployed is 5%, so it would be 5 by 100 into 100.
100 crores में से अगर 5% नेचुरल रेट ऑफ अनएम्प्लॉयड है तो कितने लोग अनएम्प्लॉयड है? 5 करोड़.
Yes, ma'am.
तो कितने लोग एम्प्लॉयड हो गए? 95
95 crores.
So your natural level of unemployment is 95 CR, right? ये आपने कैसे निकाला? N is equals to 1 minus U times L. 1 minus U will be 0.05 times L. L is 100. So this is 0.95 times 100. है ना? Right? ठीक है? So far so good. तो yes or no, है ना? ठीक है? तो हम लोग इस तरीके से प्रोसीड कर सकते हैं. सो यहां से तो मैं अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट से I went from unemployment to employment. So we understood what is natural level of employment, what is natural rate of employment. Now, if I want to move from employment to output, I know that there is some relationship between employment and output. And in
Yes.
whatever examples that we have done, we have assumed that y is equals to n, right? This is under assumption, right? है ना? So whatever is my natural level of employment, that is exactly the same as my natural level of output.
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? So natural level of output. What is natural level of output? So it is the level of production when employment is equal to the natural level of employment, right? है ना? और अगर मुझे
Yes, ma'am.
y is equals to n मैं consider करूं, तो then this natural level of output is nothing but natural level of employment, which will be nothing but 1 minus un, which is natural rate of unemployment times my labor force. है कि नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
ये पूरी इक्वेशन समझ में आ गई?
Yes, ma'am.
तो आपने देखा होगा कि हम जब वेट सेटिंग और प्राइस सेटिंग रिलेशनशिप को स्टडी कर रहे थे, वी वर स्टडिंग द वेट सेटिंग एंड प्राइस सेटिंग रिलेशन. So we were writing something like this, right? That, f of u comma z, that should be equal to 1 upon 1 plus m. This defines my un, right? है ना? This is my
Yes, ma'am.
weight setting. This is my price setting relation. When they are both equal, then the rate of unemployment that I get, that is my natural rate of unemployment. So if instead I don't want to study unemployment, I want to study the output. Let's say I want a relationship between y. So then what can I do? I can simply do this, that f is, u is what? This is capital U divided by L comma Z is equals to 1 upon 1 plus M. And ये जो U है इसको हम कैसे लिख सकते हैं? L minus N divided by L comma Z is equals to 1 upon 1 plus M. Yes, I can scroll up. Sure. Let me know where to stop. This is fine. ठीक है, चले आगे. Okay, so I can simply write it like 1 minus N by L comma Z is equals to 1 upon 1 plus M. And I know, given whatever assumptions that we have, this level of employment should be exactly equal to output. So my function becomes this. So when they are both equal, we get this, right? है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I want a relationship between output, the natural level of output, so we can use this relationship. Okay. ठीक है? So sometimes if you don't want to plot unemployment rates, if there is a need of bringing the output level or the income level into picture, you can use this. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's summarize. Let's see what all we have done. First of all, while doing this entire analysis, we have assumed one thing, which is assumed that, expected price level they were equal to actual price level. This was our assumption, right?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. Secondly, if you look at the price setting relationship, we saw that the real wage that we get from there is constant from price setting relationship, because we used to get this, W by P is equals to 1 upon 1 plus M.
So, ma'am, W by P was constant here.
Yeah, because this W by P is equals to 1 upon 1 plus M, and 1 upon 1 plus M is independent of the employment, unemployment, whatever. So it is constant.
Right, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That is why we were getting a straight line in the diagram. इस तरीके की लाइन मिलती थी हमें प्राइस सेटिंग रिलेशनशिप में,
Yes, ma'am.
है ना?
And ma'am, it was not constant in the weight setting relationship, right?
No, it was not constant. It was downward sloping like this.
Yes, ma'am.
This was my
Got
weight
it.
setting relationship, है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Another thing that we saw. What else? What is meant by equilibrium in labor market? Equilibrium in labor market. What did it require? That the wages, real wages chosen in the wage setting relation should be equal to wages in the price setting relation. And this equilibrium determined what? The natural rate of unemployment. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And associated with this natural rate of unemployment was something called natural level of employment. And associated with this level of employment, there was something called natural level of output. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is our entire story. And what else did we do? In order to understand the price setting relationship, we dig deeper into how the firm makes a decision of pricing. So we saw that it keeps a markup over its cost, and its cost was associated with hiring people, right? So that is how we came up with the price determination equation. How did we come up with the wage determination equation? We understood how does a worker demands wages. So we said if the market conditions are not good, if the unemployment rate outside is very high, people will be willing to accept a lower amount of wages, right? And then we also saw that their bargaining power also affects the amount of wages that they are willing to get. And then, we put a variable Z in order to incorporate for all these changes. So that is how we got the wage determination equation.
Yes, ma'am.
Determination उस तरीके से आया, price determination आया. Those two things came into picture together. Wherever the wages were equal from both the sides, whatever was the rate of unemployment associated with it was called the natural rate of unemployment. Based on that was natural level of employment and natural level of output. So this is our entire story. Okay. So far, so good.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is all that you are supposed to understand. ठीक है जी? Clear हो गया? ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Would you like to do some numerical? Some question?
Yes.
Chalo, let's do one question. So this is my question. Suppose that the markup of goods prices over marginal cost is 5%. Okay. And the weight setting equation the weight setting equation is this, that W is equals to P times 1 minus U, where U is unemployment rate. Okay. So this is the story that is given to us. Now, first of all, first task is find the real wage. As determined by the price setting equation. Okay. Second question that you have is, what is the natural rate of unemployment? And the third question is, suppose now the markup of prices over cost increases to 10%. Now the question is, what happens to natural rate of unemployment? These are the three questions that you have. Questions clear ho gaye? This is my
Yes.
So this is my question. If you want to take 2 minutes, take 2 minutes, think about it, and then we'll do it together. So we are given the following. Suppose that the markup of goods prices over marginal cost is 5%. So they have just told me the markup. What is the markup? So M. What is M here? M क्या होगा? If they've told me markup over marginal cost is 5%. So what is M? My price is this now. And this W is nothing but my marginal cost, hai na? So my markup is this 5%. So 5% is 0.05.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Everybody okay with this step? That M is 0.05?
Now it's given in the question, right? The markup is, yes, ma'am.
Suppose that the markup of goods prices over the marginal cost is 5%.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are taking the marginal cost plus 5% of marginal cost you're charging extra. So that is your markup, right? Okay? Everybody clear with this step?
Yes, ma'am.
Hai na? So now if M is this, P is equals to 1.05 times W. So what is W by P? 1 upon 1.05. So what is my real wage? If we calculate, it will be 0.95238, right?
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? This is my real wage. यही निकालना था मुझे. First part was this only. That you have to find the real wage as it is determined by the wage setting relationship. Everybody okay with this step? Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, this is हमने यहीं तक की इंफॉर्मेशन यूज करके स्टेप 1 कर दिया. Now they have given that the weight setting equation is this. So my weight setting equation used to be something like this, right? And
Yes.
there was a PE here. And we assume that P is equals to P. So this is the P value. And then this function is nothing but 1 minus U. अब यहाँ पे इन्होंने Z को इनकॉर्पोरेट ही नहीं किया है, राइट? या फिर Z को कुछ वैल्यू फिक्स मान ली होगी, ठीक है? तो ये जो मेरा रिलेशनशिप है विद अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, वो तो नेगेटिव आ गया है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
So, and this is essentially what happened, negative relationship with wage. So यहाँ पे जब अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट बढ़ेगा तो ये वैल्यू कम हो जाएगी, राइट? तो नेगेटिव रिलेशनशिप ही चाहिए. सो मेरा जो रिलेशनशिप है यहाँ पे, ये W is equals to P times 1 minus U. This is my rate setting relationship. And my price setting relation is this. Okay. So the question that is being asked is, what is the natural rate of unemployment? So how do you find natural rate of unemployment? हम क्या करते हैं? W by P is equals to 1 minus U हो गया यहाँ से. This is weight setting. And price setting से W by P कितना आ गया? 1 upon 1.05, right? This is price setting. तो इन दोनों को जब हम लोग इक्वेट करेंगे तो हमें क्या मिलेगा? If we equate these two, that is when whatever is the unemployment rate, that is my natural rate of unemployment.
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? तो what should we do now? So this is 1 minus 1 upon 1.05 is equals to U. What is this now? This?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is this? 0.
0.097.
So this is basically 5 divided by 105. So how much is this?
0.0976.
Point
0.976.
6.
Yes.
Right? So that is close to how much?
0.098.
9.76% unemployment rate. Yes? So decimals में it is this. If we want to call it in terms of percentages, it is this, right? So this is my natural rate of unemployment. ठीक है? This is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody okay with this step? है ना? Shall we move on? ठीक है. So this was step number 2. Now tell me, what is this? What is to be done in part number C? Suppose now the markup is not 5%, but rather 10%. So what happens to natural rate of unemployment?
Ma'am, now M will change to 0.1.
So what were we doing? We were basically doing this, right? W by P is equals to 1 upon 1 plus M. And W by P was equals to what? 1 minus U here, है ना? So we were just equating these two, है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
So 1 upon 1 plus M is equals to 1 minus U. So what is U? 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus M. So what is U? 1 plus m minus 1 divided by 1 plus m. So this is nothing but m upon 1 plus m. है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is u now? M is 10%, meaning 0.10. And it is 1 plus point this. So this is what? 0.10 divided by 1.10. है कि नहीं? या फिर अगर ये 0 नहीं भी लगाना है तो इसको हटा दो this. So what is this? 1 by 11? What is 1 by 11?
0.0909.
0.0909. So in percentages, UN is 9.09%. This is the natural rate of unemployment. So what happened when this, guys, this calculation is clear with everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So now see, earlier when my markup was 5%, my unemployment rate was 9.76. When my markup was 10%, my unemployment rate, natural rate of unemployment, it is 9.09%, right? So what happened to unemployment rate? Increased or decreased?
Decreased.
Increased.
Increased. So 9.76% and 9.09% MUN.
But it decreased, like M was 5%.
Hmm.
So the markup was 9.76 and now it is 9.09.
Yeah.
So ma'am, it has decreased, right?
So unemployment rate has fallen.
Yes, ma'am, unemployment rate.
Yeah. So
Okay, ma'am.
now, can you see why? So can you explain why this happened?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the reason could be that when the markup is increasing, that means now the firm is getting more profit when the markup increases. So in this case, the unemployment would fall down because now the firm will provide more wages to the workers as well. Would that be the case?
Okay, good try. ठीक है, तो अब एक बात बताओ. If I try to see this graphically, my wage setting relation was this only. This is U.
Yes.
And this is W by P. है ना? So when my markup was 5%, let's say my price setting was this. When your markup increased, what happened to your real wages? So your price setting will go this side or this side?
Ma'am, down.
Downwards. Why? Because this M has gone up.
Yes, ma'am.
So my price setting relationship will go downwards like this. So what should happen to my unemployment?
Increase,
But यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है?
decrease.
Did we make any mistake? In calculating anything? Just a second. So
Ma'am, in the first condition, I think The answer is coming different.
Yeah, this is not
Ma'am, it is
0.976.
Ma'am, it is 0.0476.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
है ना 0.0476 this right.
Yes.
So ये 476 की जगह शायद हमने गलती से 976 लिख दिया है ना.
Yes, ma'am.
कोई बात नहीं, हो जाती है गलतियां. So this is 4.76%, right? एंड यहाँ पे क्या होगा 1/11 कितना होता है. दिस इज करेक्ट. ठीक है, तो दिस
Yes, ma'am.
इज दिस है ना. सो जैसे ही आपका मार्कअप इंक्रीज हो रहा है आपका अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट भी इंक्रीज हो रहा है ना. विच इज इन लाइन विद व्हाट वी सी हियर. जैसे ही मार्कअप बढ़ता है ये वाली वैल्यू स्मॉलर हो जाती है. सो यहाँ पे जो अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट था वो बढ़ के हायर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट हो गया. राइट है ना. ठीक है. So this was, first one was 4.76%. This is 9.09%. ठीक है.
Ma'am, what's the logic behind?
हाँ, so now logic comes into picture. तो अब एक बात बताओ. Now because markup increases, the overall real wage that the firm is willing to offer the people has gone down. The firm is raising prices, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is willing to pay lesser amount of real wages. WYP has gone down.
Yes, ma'am.
So now if the unemployment remains the same, people are not willing to accept this low wage.
Yes, ma'am.
So the unemployment has to rise in order for them to be comfortable with this low wage. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is why all of this is happening. ठीक है, ये लॉजिक क्लियर हो गया.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
ठीक है, तो everybody okay and clear with this problem? What happened here? How did we solve this question? If something like this happens or comes in an exam, we'll be able to attempt properly. ठीक है.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, just clarifying. Ananya, Aryaki, Manju, Shivani, Vanya, guys, all good? किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है? I am audible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Chalo, okay. So this was your chapter. There's a small appendix that is left. We'll be doing that as well. But next class में हम लोग अपना जो next chapter है उसका discussion we will start. ठीक है? So for today, I would like to discuss a few questions with you, which are a part of your assignment. So I won't do everything. I'll discuss a few with you, but you will be able to do it very, very quickly. So उसमें ज़्यादा time नहीं लगेगा because they are all MCQ based. So let's see that. Okay, guys, let's see the questions. Can you see the questions properly?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. Chalo. So these are the MCQs. Let's quickly try to do them. So slowly, nobody is going to say the answer. You're just going to type it. You will be taking 1 minute for one question maximum. And you can do direct message to me. It will be good if you do direct message. Okay, so Shivani is saying, ma'am, but if markup is increased, so why doesn't the firm increase the real wage? So real wage is W by P. है ना? Real wage is W by P. You are keeping everything else as it is. You're just changing your, so relative to your wage, markup increases means relative to your wage, you're charging high prices. हो सकता है आपकी wage भी बढ़ी हो. We are not commenting on that. But relative to wage का कितना multiple आपने prices रखे हैं, वो आपने बढ़ा दिया है. So W by P ratio 1 plus M है. P by W ratio is equals to 1 plus M. ठीक है? शिवानी, this is okay?
Yes.
हाँ, चलो. Okay, guys. So first MCQ. What is participation rate? क्या होता है participation rate? So participation rate का मतलब ये है क्या कि employed divided by total population या फिर the labor force to non-institutional civilian population या unemployed to labor force या employed to labor force. So which one? So पहले ये बताओ, ये जो C option है, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Unemployed people to labor force. What is the term?
Unemployment rate.
This is unemployment rate. And what is the lower one? Employed to labor force.
Employment rate.
Employment rate. And what is this one?
Participation rate.
This is participation rate, right? And first one के लिए, do we have a name? We don't have a name for that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है? So what is the correct answer? Correct answer is B. This one. ठीक है? So, okay. Question number 2. Guys, all good with part number A? First part clear हो गया सबको? Part number 2. Which of the following is included in non-institutional civilian population? So, non-institutional civilian population. In case some people are having trouble with this term, this means the people who are in prison. So the people who are employed in armed forces, are they part of civilian population? No. People below the age of 16, are they part of non-institutional civilian population or not?
No, ma'am, I don't think so.
Okay. And part number C, the people who are in prison.
There's one another block for retired children, disability wala na, that's something else. And the armed are under the non-institutional civilian population.
So what did we study? क्या पढ़ा था हमने?
Ma'am, one was the civilian population that in the सिविलियन लेबर फोर्स एंड आउट ऑफ लेबर फोर्स उसमें भी कंस्टिट्यूट करता था.
हाँ जी, इसको क्या कह रहे हैं हम लोग? So the people who are retired, children, disability, people who are behind bars, armed forces, they were kept separate from this, na?
Yes, ma'am.
They were a different block, है ना? तो
Yes, ma'am.
in this case, they are not considered. They will also not be considered. They are also not considered. So इसमें से कोई item है क्या जो include हो सकता है? No? Yes?
So, ma'am, armed force personnel is also under non-institutional civilian population.
So armed forces is not civilian only. Armed forces are not civilians, right?
Right, ma'am. Yes,
है
ma'am.
ना? कि आर्म फोर्सेस वाले लोग जो हैं वो सिविलियन पॉपुलेशन में नहीं आते, राइट?
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
सो व्हाट इज माय आंसर हियर? डी.
None of the above.
नन ऑफ द अबव. ठीक है, दिस इज ओके ना?
Yes, ma'am.
चलो लेट्स डू पार्ट नंबर 3. व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ लेबर फोर्स?
Option A.
ऑप्शन ए. सो लेबर
Yes.
फोर्स इज पीपल हु आर वर्किंग और हु आर लुकिंग फॉर वर्क. So employed people or unemployed people, both, they are part of labor force. So option number A. ठीक है. What about question number 4? What does a high unemployment rate typically indicate about the labor market?
Ma'am, difficult conditions for finding a job.
Okay. So basically C and D are exact opposite of it. है ना?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
उसमें से कुछ ना कुछ तो होना चाहिए. So if there is higher unemployment rate doesn't mean high job security,
Yes, ma'am.
right? ऐसा तो कोई मतलब नहीं है. Second,
Yes, ma'am.
low job turnover. What is turnover?
I'm
Ma'am.
switching between jobs.
So people leaving jobs, right? So high unemployment rate का मतलब ये है क्या कि लोग जॉब स्विच नहीं करेंगे?
No, ma'am.
पार्ट नंबर सी क्या है? डिफिकल्ट कंडीशंस फॉर फाइंडिंग अ जॉब. द हायर इज द अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट, the people who are finding a job, they will have difficulties because why will they have difficulty?
Because mostly
Everybody is trying to get the
yes,
job,
ma'am.
right?
There's a competition.
Yes. So part number C. ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine with everyone? Yes. What is part number 5? What does unemployment rate means?
B.
B, unemployed people to labor force. So part number B. ठीक है? ठीक है? What about question number 6?
B.
So which factor does not affect workers' bargaining power? Does nature of the job affect bargaining power? if you're doing a low skilled job versus a high skilled job, it will affect your bargaining power. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. B, economy wide labor market conditions. Will that affect your bargaining power?
No, ma'am.
It will not affect.
It will.
It will.
Ma'am, what did you discuss about the first part? I'm sorry, my connection
Yeah.
was.
So the question is, कौन सा फैक्टर लेबर वर्कर की बार्गेनिंग पावर को अफेक्ट नहीं करता है? तो नेचर ऑफ जॉब तो इफेक्ट करता है.
Yes,
Meaning
ma'am.
low skill versus high skilled job.
Yes, ma'am.
B part, labor market conditions कैसी हैं economy wide? Does that impact your bargaining power?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Because if unemployment rate is very high, you are not in a position to bargain. If unemployment rate is very low, you're in a position to bargain, right?
Right, ma'am.
So neither A, neither B. What about C?
Yes, ma'am. It affects workers'
So
educational level.
education level जो है वो impact करेगा क्या bargaining power को?
Yes, ma'am. If
Education
worker.
level could be related to the skill sets, right? More educated,
Yes, ma'am.
you might be getting high skilled work. What about D? I'm a person who has very good bargaining skills, but I am applying for a job at McDonald's for a waiter. मेरी bargaining skills जो है वो impact होंगी क्या?
No, ma'am.
बताओ.
Ma'am, firstly, I was confused in this only. Like, we had to nullify the other options. So I thought that the worker's bargaining power could be one. Like, he can have that skill set to bargain for the wages which he might get.
So, but ये बहुत individualistic हो गया ना?
Yes, ma'am.
ये भी तभी हो सकता है जब आप बहुत हाई स्किल्ड हो.
Right, ma'am.
है ना? तो एक तरीके से out of all the options that are given, nature of job definitely impacts. Economy wide conditions definitely impact. Education level affect your skills. So they also affect things. How skilled is a worker, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then D part, workers' bargaining skills.
No, ma'am. It won't.
सो अगर आप बहुत डीप में इसके बारे में सोचोगे तो कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा बहुत ये भी इम्पैक्ट कर ही सकता है ना? क्योंकि जो लॉजिक हमने यहाँ लगाया है कि मैकडॉनल्ड्स वर्कर की बार्गेनिंग स्किल्स अच्छी हैं, बट उस जॉब का नेचर ही ऐसा है, तो फिर तो पीएचडी करने वाला इंसान भी तो वेटर के लिए अप्लाई कर सकता है. तो आपने पीएचडी कर रखी हो तो आपको क्या मतलब अलग से थोड़ी ना ट्रीटमेंट मिलेगी.
Right, ma'am.
तो फिर क्या करें?
Ma'am, but if we are doing the comparative analysis, so option D would be the correct one.
क्योंकि एजुकेशन लेवल को कहीं ना कहीं स्किल से एसोसिएट किया जा सकता है, राइट? द मोर स्किल्ड यू
Yes,
आर,
ma'am.
the better it is for you. So out of whatever is given, D seems to be the one least affecting it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
तो इस लॉजिक से we are trying to cancel these things. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, चलो. Question number 7. What is the effect of high unemployment on wages?
Wages decrease.
So higher unemployment leads to what? You having lesser bargaining power. So you'll have to accept lower wages. So wages decrease, right? Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
What about question number 8?
Option B, the rate of unemployment where labor market is in equilibrium.
Right? So it's not a rate where everyone has a job. It's not the lowest possible rate. It's not the rate where economy never returns, but rather where the labor market is in equilibrium, which is option number B. ठीक है? चलो, question number 9.
Ma'am, I'm not sure about this, but the guess would be B, wages negotiation between unions and firms.
So collective bargaining मतलब ये होता है कि जब यूनियन और फर्म्स आपस में मिलके चीजें नेगोशिएट करती हैं, that is called collective bargaining. So B, yes. So union refers to basically the workers side. Firms are on the other side. उनके बीच में जो wage negotiation है, that is collective bargaining. Okay? Fine. So it's neither imposed by government. It's not unilaterally decided by firms. It's not individual wage negotiations between union and firms. Collective bargaining could, just a second. Oh, just a minute. Collective bargaining is, bargaining between union and firms. So it could be a union or a group of unions or a firm or a group of firms. So it's not individual basis. Okay? So it's going to be this. Fine?
Yes, ma'am, got it.
Okay? Now, what is question number 10? What is the effect of efficiency wages on unemployment?
Decreases unemployment.
So, okay, decreases unemployment, has no effect on unemployment, makes unemployment unpredictable. Efficiency wages का क्या मतलब होगा?
Now that the firms are paying higher than what they should be given, like workers should be given.
Right? So, उसकी वजह से क्या होगा?
That now the workers are being paid more, so unemployment would decrease.
So, higher real wages will lead to what?
Higher employment.
तो एक तरीके से decreases unemployment, increases unemployment, has no effect on unemployment, makes employment unpredictable. एफिशिएंसी वेज का अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा?
हाँ मैम, बट ये भी है because वो तो it's like giving more wages and इससे unemployment
पे कोई
effect
इम्पैक्ट
नहीं
क्यों
है.
होना चाहिए? दिस इज अ फर्म्स चॉइस टू पे समथिंग हायर.
Yes ma'am.
सो उससे मेरी आउटसाइड कंडीशन पे क्या इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है?
मैम that's हाँ, उससे तो हम पता ही कर सकते because इस कंडीशन में तो आप इंक्रीज भी कर सकते हैं अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. इससे कोई like it has no role to play with the unemployment.
This is just a way of doing what? Efficiency wages. What is the role of efficiency wages? Some firms might want to increase the amount of wages that they pay. Why? So that there is lesser turnaround. People don't leave that job, right?
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
People not leaving that job or being more productive at their current work, because they will start being more responsible about their work. So इसका unemployment में कोई impact है क्या directly?
No, ma'am.
So why decrease or increase? Any logics that is coming to your mind?
But in this case, D option could also be the one like makes unemployment unpredictable. Like we can't even get it because अगर we are just increasing the wages.
आप इसको बता नहीं पा रहे हो कि अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट क्या होगा. ऐसा थोड़ी ना है कि अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट कुछ भी अनाप शनाप हो जाएगा. अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट जो भी चीजों पे डिपेंड करता है वो उन्हीं चीजों पे डिपेंड करेगा.
अच्छा हाँ राइट वो उससे अनप्रेडिक्टेबल तो होगा नहीं.
इसकी वजह से कोई अनप्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी तो नहीं आ रही है ना.
Got it, ma'am.
Ma'am, I had one point to make. So if the firm needs more workers, so the more people will be attracted to the job.
ठीक है.
So that will decrease the unemployment.
So basically you are saying कि if you pay them higher wages, then
more people will be attracted to the job roles that are there in the firm.
ठीक है.
And
More
if the
people will
firm-
be, more people will be attracted. But is it sure that the firm will hire the people who are getting attracted?
Yes, ma'am. That's the case.
Definitely.
Even there could be more competition in the market, so we are not sure that whether the unemployment will decrease or not.
So basically, if I'm paying higher wages, Google is paying enough shanap wage salaries. Doesn't mean it, and Google is one of the topmost choice of workers. People want to work there.
Yes, ma'am.
But वो इतनी डिमांड में है, people want to come and work there, but that doesn't mean ना कि वो उनको हायर कर लेते हैं. नहीं करते ना.
Ma'am, but if firms need like they have vacancies and they need more workers, so that will help in decreasing unemployment. Like if the firm needs more workers.
What if they will increase they will hire people, but they will also fire some people who are unproductive. Then so basically what we are trying to say is efficiency wage का लॉजिक क्या है उस पे ध्यान दो. उसका लॉजिक ये है कि जो करंट वर्कर्स हैं they should value their work, they should do more productive work if they are paid higher wages. So that is one. Second, they don't want people to switch jobs and leave their company. So in order to keep the pool of worker that is there, they want to give them higher wages. So इसका unemployment पे क्या effect होगा? So
there is this thing like you told, reservation wage is a term where like it refers to the condition when the worker is like indifferent between working and sitting idle.
That is reservation wages.
Yes, ma'am. So in this case, if the efficiency wages is increased, or like if the firm increases the efficiency wage, so people will choose to be employed rather than be unemployed.
No, but that is not entirely in labor के हाथ में नहीं है ना सब कुछ. फर्म के हाथ में भी है. आप कितनी भी इच्छा हो आपकी, all the people who are unemployed, ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि वो काम नहीं करना चाहते. काम करना चाहते हैं, but उनको कोई हायर नहीं कर रहा है.
Right, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it should be option C, has no effect.
तो पर से एफिशिएंसी वेज का अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. एफिशिएंसी वेज का गोल रीजन बिल्कुल अलग है.
Ma'am, actually, firstly, we were thinking on the perspective of the workers. Like they want to be employed if efficiency wage is increasing. So doesn't
efficient. There is no concept of efficiency wages increasing. There
Ma'am,
is
the
wages.
wages are increasing. Like
There
the
is
firm
wages.
is increasing the wages. So, ma'am, I was personally, I was thinking from the point of view of the workers. So, from that mind, I was saying that there should be a decrease in unemployment. But as you told, that the firms have to decide eventually. So, it has no role to play with the unemployment then.
So basically, efficiency wage is just the phenomena of firms paying slightly higher wages than their reservation wages so that they care about their jobs. That's all.
Right, ma'am.
So that they don't leave and they don't say, अच्छा आज डांट दिया कोई बात नहीं कल से काम पे नहीं आऊंगा. ऐसा ना हो बस. और आपको थोड़ा सा केयर हो अपने काम का. You are concerned about your work, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, according to Google, like it's written, if efficiency wage amplifies the increase in the involuntary unemployment rate during an economic recession.
It leads to what?
Increase in the involuntary unemployment rate during an economic recession.
Okay, what is the source of this? Please share with me.
It's the first page, like when I search on Google, it's from Study Smarter.
कोई बात नहीं, एक काम करते हैं. Think about this more. ठीक है? इस क्वेश्चन को हम लोग थोड़ा फर्दर डिस्कशन में डालते हैं. ठीक है? But according to me, this is something which should not have an impact on unemployment. Its
Yes.
purpose is entirely different. According to me, for now, it's part C.
Yes, ma'am.
But we can definitely discuss it once you start doing other problems as well. ठीक है? अच्छा, what is question number 11? We'll discuss this more. You also think more about it. I will share more crisp reasoning for this. Taki everybody is convinced why it could be, has no effect. Or if I am convinced that it should be something else. Okay? Fine?
Sure, ma'am.
ठीक
Yes,
है?
ma'am.
इसको हम लोग थोड़ा डिस्कशन में रखते हैं. ठीक है? Question number 11.
Ma'am, B.
Yes, ma'am.
Lowest wage that a worker will accept. क्योंकि उससे लो हो गई तो वो क्या बोलेगा कि नमस्ते मैं घर पे ही हूं. ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is going to be part number B. ठीक है? All right. Guys, there are some more questions. I would, but anyways, we can all discuss that. Okay, question number 12. What is question number 12? What is the relationship between unemployment and wage determination? You and wage determination में wage का क्या relationship है? What kind of relationship do we have?
Ma'am, A.
Inverse.
Inverse. So if
Yes,
one
ma'am.
is increasing, the other should decrease, right?
Yes, ma'am.
इसमें क्या हो रहा है पार्ट बी में? डिक्रीज. पार्ट बी
Yes,
क्या हो
ma'am.
रहा है? इंक्रीज. और इसमें क्या हो रहा है? नो चेंज.
Yes, ma'am.
इट इज पार्ट नंबर
A.
ठीक है? फाइन. Question number 13.
It increases.
Happens to unemployment rate in a recession.
Increases.
Unemployment rate increase हो जाता है, right? Recession के time पे demand कम हो जाती है. So companies reduce their production. So they either stop hiring people or they start firing people also. So unemployment rate increases.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है? Question number 14.
Decreases
Decreases
real
real wage.
So what is the impact of a high markup by firms on real wage? So high markup will lead to what? Decrease in real wages,
Real
right?
wage.
We saw that in the graph or in the example that we did, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, question number 15. So it's the
B.
same. So this
Yes.
is part number B, right? Employed to labor force. ठीक है. Now question number 16.
B.
So which sector is not counted in the official employment statistic? So
Yes, ma'am.
manufacturing, services, construction, everything which is formal will be counted. So informal work at home, unless you are formally being hired for doing that job, it will not be counted, right?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. Question number 17. What is a discouraged worker?
B.
Workers who have given up looking for jobs.
Sorry.
Part B.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about some previous question. Yes, question number 17. Who is a discouraged worker?
B. Workers who have given up looking for jobs.
So the people who wanted to work, but they have looked up and they have felt disappointed so many times that they've decided to give up looking for jobs, right? So part number B. Now, question number 18.
Decreases the natural output.
So what is the effect of unemployment insurance on natural rate of unemployment? So unemployment insurance is like an unemployment benefit ना?
Yes, ma'am.
So उसके वजह से प्राइस सेटिंग में कोई चेंज आता है क्या? नहीं.
No, ma'am.
वेज सेटिंग पहले ये था, उसके बाद अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इंश्योरेंस आने के बाद क्या होता है? Workers are in a better position, right?
Right, ma'am.
So this WS increases.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the new result?
Increase in the natural rate of unemployment.
So increases the natural rate of unemployment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is question number 18.
I didn't understand these things.
So basically, because of increase in unemployment insurance, whatever was the unemployment rate, people were earlier ready to accept this wage. But now because they know that if they don't work, they will be given some amount of money. So they will want to have some higher wages at the same unemployment rate.
Yes. Yes,
So
ma'am.
they-
Got it.
right?
I was
This will be the
confused.
case at every single point. So, or ye price setting relation remains the same. So if we look at the equilibrium, earlier it was at this point, now it is at this point, which is at a higher rate of unemployment, right? ठीक है? ठीक है. Question number 19. What is the effect of employment protection on natural rate of unemployment?
B. Increases the natural rate.
So if you are getting protected, protection could mean in any sense. The government could provide you some assistance when you lose job, or maybe they are, if the employer doesn't do certain things, then they will have to pay some penalty. So they won't fire you just like that, or they will have to give you a higher notice period, or they will have to give you 2 months of salary if they are firing someone, things like that. These are employment protection things. So then in that case, the workers have a higher bargaining power. So at every
Yes.
single rate of unemployment, they would be asking for a higher wage. So it's the same situation here as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So this also increases the natural rate,
Right, ma'am.
right? So this will also be part number B. है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. What is question number 20? What is labor force participation rate?
B.
Labor
Yes,
force,
ma'am.
ratio of labor force to the working age population.
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? So this is labor force participation rate. And final question for today is this. What is the effect of high unemployment on job finding probability?
Decreases job finding.
Yes, ma'am. Decreases job finding
So
probability.
if there is higher unemployment in the economy, it's less probable for you to find a new job, right? It becomes difficult. है ना? So it decreases your job finding probability. है ना? So this is question number 21. ठीक है? So these were some of the MCQs and think about this problem. थोड़ा सा. I will also think. And then let's come to a conclusion on this. Fine? ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
So this chapter is done, guys. There's a small portion in the appendix. We'll do that. And then we'll start with chapter number 7. This chapter will be over. So after 3-4 days, the notes for these will become available on the website. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.